Welcome back, everybody, to the Cole Mantell Show, podcast number 8. We're recording this on Thursday, so right after the CFSL preseason games on Wednesday yesterday. A lot of fun there. This is actually a little bit of an unorthodox, I'm going to call it, podcast because we had a late drop, but I'll just go through the guys, introduce them, and say hello. We'll start with Zach Davis, also known as Assured Fame. Zach, you're the Ohio State AD. I believe this is your first time on the show, is it not?
Yep, first time.
Oop, a little bit low. Maybe move the mic a little closer.
Yep, first time here, Cole.
That's a little better. Well, glad to have you. And so yeah, that's first time guest. The next guy on is not a first time guest. I believe this is your second time on the show. Another AD, Gavin Lussier. I think that's how you pronounce it, but also known as Trips, the Oregon AD. How you doing, Trips? You're also muted. Oh, there
Fantastic,
you go.
buddy. No, yeah. You did pronounce that correctly, so kudos. I mean, the announcers do it, so it's all good. But yeah, man, I'm doing all right. Hanging out, man. So
It's French, right?
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've been to Quebec once. That's how I know how to pronounce that.
Well, my family's from Montreal, so
There you go.
not
Yeah,
too far.
I was in Quebec City. That's where it was. Like I think a year and a half ago. So
Meh.
go Lightning if you follow any hockey.
Yeet.
I know
Canadians.
that. There you go. Yeah, I know Venom follows hockey, and that is going to be our third guest. We had a late dropout, so we've been trying to get Justyn on. Oh my God, I think since before we started the podcast, we've been trying to get Venom on. But yes, Justyn Veneklasen, and I do know how to pronounce that, the
Good job.
USC OC, former AD of Florida, champion in season 20, quarterback Jameson Gold. Venom, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And so yeah, I guess I'll give a little bit of a preview of this. Originally, what we had planned to do was have Trips, who played in both, I believe, the freshman and the senior game. We're going to have Zach, who's going to be our first time guest as the Ohio State AD. We talked a lot about Ohio State last week, so I kind of wanted to make sure he got on this week. And then Norman Bates, who's one of the coaches, wanted him from the freshman game. He was coaching, I believe it was the South. Let me check that real
North.
quick. It was the North, yeah. But both Norman and Cocky could not make it. Norman had a late issue with his work, so he could not jump on. So we got Venom on. It's going to be the same agenda, same idea what we're going to talk about, but obviously we're going to, I guess, kind of wing it. I think that's what we kind of agreed upon before the podcast. We're just going to wing it a little bit here, and that's okay, because let's be honest, half the people here like winging it anyway, from my understanding.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we will start actually with those preseason games as well. I'm actually going to start. Zach, I don't think you had any players in it, but you had players from your team, obviously, some freshmen in the freshman game. Is that correct?
Yeah, nobody in the first round of games actually. A lot of my seniors were old guys who were my first round of taking over were seniors this year. They weren't the most active, unfortunately, so I did not have any in this round of games.
Oh, you didn't have anybody.
Well, I actually had one. I guess I had Daniel Bingham.
I was gonna say, I swear, because I literally right before we got on the podcast, I was writing the recap article for it. I know I hit on Ohio State a little bit there.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
Bingham. It's the only one that I saw. But we had a couple other guys, more on the quiet end, so probably why they didn't make it. But Daniel Bingham was an All-American, so that's probably why he got the nod.
yeah, and that was in the senior game, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, there's a few All-Americans. We'll get to that a little bit later, but I was like, I knew there was an Ohio State Ohio State guy on there.
hmm
Yeah, also known as Kaner 88. I don't know. Yeah, he is uh, not a. Excuse me. He does not have a player yet. But I'm sure he has. He's got a Michigan. That's why I'm looking at it. He's got a Michigan logo on his. Is he a Michigan fan, Zach?
Yeah, unfortunately, he is. I thought he recreated a player. I told him to because I've talked to him a lot in DMs. But after I saw the Michigan logo, I think he's got a little tense between us, so we haven't talked too much lately.
Yeah, I was gonna ask because now it could be that he has created a player. He just has not been posted yet. So we're recording this on a Thursday. Maybe by Saturday it's going to be up, before week 1. But as of right now, I don't see it. He had 13 tackles in the game. I think I did touch on him in that article, and we'll get into that in a minute here. I guess I'll go to Venom first because I know Trips was in the game. Venom, you were not in the game this year, but you were in the game last year. Am I correct on that?
That
The freshman
is
game?
correct. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, I wasn't in the freshman game. I was in the Army Navy game.
Right. And then were you playing for Ryan or against Ryan? I could look it up, actually.
Probably 4. I play for Army. I think he's
Yeah.
Army too. So
I can even pull up the box
I think
score
we
here.
won last year. Or last season, I guess.
Yes, because I believe I called that game. It was, the Navy Army Military Appreciation Game box score.
I don't know how we won that game.
Uh, yep, you won 36-35. You had 400 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, 5 carries for another touchdown, and funny enough, you had fellow SEC player Tyrone Blake, who then went on to play in the senior game this year, and he had over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns in the senior game that the East kind of dominated there. So I guess maybe talk about a little bit, Venom, how those kind of games can start, jumpstart your career or end it on a good note.
Yeah, I think for like the newcomer games, you really get a sense of like what your player's going to look like. Um, for me, as a quarterback, never really had a quarterback in the league, so actually getting to see what I'd look like on the field to start the season was a good indicator of where I wanted to go with my player. Um, just getting to see your player in action, I think, in the preseason, getting on the field and getting these guys reps is really important. And then I think on the other side, the senior game, I think it's really just a good send off. Really like look back at your career and really celebrate like the seniors that were in the league carrying their teams for 4 seasons.
I've played in a few of them. JJ Smoke, I remember, had a great one too. But I have not actually had a lot of just personally great games in these exhibitions until Cole Mantell. I think still his best career game, even better than our win over Ohio State last season, was, for me at least, personally, the freshman game. And I see Zach unmuting there and trying to butt in a little bit.
I'm not gonna say anything, man. This is a professional podcast, Cole, but I felt that jab there, man.
It's a Big Ten podcast, and it's gonna be fun. I think as this podcast goes along, we're gonna devolve a little bit based on who we got in here. But
We
I, s- I-
definitely will.
speaking of chaos, hey Trips, you want to talk? You there, Trips?
Yeah, I
Great.
want to talk.
Well, you had a player in both games, right?
Yup.
So I guess start with the freshman game because who's your new player?
AJ Lussier didn't do shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Uh,
What was 1 tackle? So you
Yep.
watch it. I guess what's your takeaway from the games first, and then we can get to
I
the
mean, I think
Oregon
it's
players.
awesome. I think the new guys coming in are sweet. Especially, I mean, it's definitely a different outlook for at least veterans. They get a new player, maybe switch sides of the ball. I think it's really bittersweet. I mean, for me, because like I was also in the senior game, so my wide receiver was like whatever throughout his career. It's definitely different seeing me on the opposite side of the ball, and I thought it was definitely interesting and what I can work on or what I need to at least upgrade on. I liked it though. It was. I mean, I enjoyed seeing my wide receivers, my freshman wide receivers, Isaiah Love and Jackson Bliss. They were on the opposite team, North, I believe, and they, they played the best they could. I mean, solid showings on both games, and I'm excited to work with these guys, and I'm sure everybody else is excited to work with their freshmen as well. So
Well, the funny part is, at least when it comes to the senior game, they had you on special teams. Let me see here.
Yeah, they did. I was cranking.
Yeah,
Best
you
believe
did
it.
pretty good.
I did. I never returned kicks my entire career until Frosty decided to throw me in there. So it was pretty
And
cool.
yeah, no, I think I even want to mention that as well. So obviously we weren't able to get them, but Cocky and Norman Bates were the coaches for the freshman games. And usually what the league has done historically is, coaches that are looking to become ADs that are obviously a big part of the programs, Cocky, part of the championship winning last year. They won last year, the championship winning team. And then Michigan has been a contender, I mean, ever since Aaron Ike basically got there. And Norman Bates obviously wants to join that.
Yeah, I
I'm not saying
forgot.
you weren't. I'm not saying you weren't good there. I'm saying they weren't good. And was it Allen after you, or was Allen before you at Michigan? Actually,
Allen was before me, and then I took over and made Michigan relevant for once.
I mean that's fair. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not disputing that. But I guess the point was I was trying to say that Norman Bates has been a part of that program for a while now.
Yeah, they've
Um,
definitely continued the success, which is nice to see.
yeah, and so anyway, that's what I was trying to say was they had an all Big Ten coaching staff, and they wanted to go against each other. Michigan versus USC. Incidentally, you guys played in the playoffs last year too, right?
Yeah, they beat us in the regular season, but we ended up beating them in the playoffs pretty handily.
Yeah. And so, at least on that front, I guess having Michigan and USC go up against each other, that was a backdrop of it. And I think Zach and Trips also touched on it. Playing with different players. For me, I was the quarterback, and I was in an air raid system for one game, which was what I historically ran at Auburn when I was the AD there. And obviously at Michigan State, at least the first season, we ran, I believe it was pro style. We did not run air raid, to say the least. Um, just that difference, and obviously getting to have that experience. And then you were a quarterback last year in the game, or in the Army Navy game, which was similar. Same idea. It's a lot of fun, and I wanted to start the podcast with it because obviously it happened yesterday, and we're going to talk about it. Um, so I guess one more question. Originally what I was going to do was say, what players stood out to you guys, but obviously we have a little bit of bias here, considering that Trips literally was in the game. He's got Oregon guys there. USC was in the game, and
No, I
Ohio
mean,
State. Go ahead.
there's definitely people to stand out. Like, I mean, I enjoyed watching Emerson Sparrow. He's playing for Texas A&M. He killed it for as much as a freshman. I mean, dude, 3 sacks and a forced fumble. Are you kidding me? Whoever's playing Texas A&M this season, good luck, bro. And not to mention who I play week 1, and that's gonna be Hemotio del Este. Like, that dude's a beast, bro. Like, some of these guys like actually balled out, like balled their hearts out as much as they could.
Actually,
And I
yeah,
mean,
that's a
it's
good that's a
interesting.
good point. I'm going to butt in there, Trips, because that's where my question was leading. So the two quarterbacks in the South North South newcomer All American game, uh, Himoteo del Este, and I apologize for the pronunciation. Um, Tavon Moss for the North. Those were our two freshman quarterbacks this year. A smaller than usual recruiting class, smaller than usual quarterback class. Um, I guess you started at Trips. Which I assume you thought Himoteo had a better game.
I mean,
Yeah,
okay. I
yeah, talk
mean,
about him.
honestly, yes. Only because I mean, I don't think. Uh, see, probably gonna get flack for this, but I mean, yeah, he didn't have the passing yards, but look at the completions: 16 to 22. He had 31 carries for almost 200, and I mean, the passing yards are almost at 200. I mean, the dude's a weapon, bro. I mean, regardless if you plan on running the ball or whether you're slinging it, it doesn't look like he's making terrible decisions, in my opinion. And like game planning for him since we played them week 1 has been it's been kind of whack to say the least. Because I'm gonna say this: Oklahoma's defense isn't that awesome, but their offense is keeping them in it, bro. And it's because of him. I mean, a few others, of course, but I mean, if we're talking just a freshman, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go with Himateo over Moss. Not taking anything away from Moss. I mean, the dude threw the roof out of the park. Uh, with 2 interceptions, 4 touchdowns, I mean, it's whatever. I'd still say that's a pretty solid game. But I just think Mateo is honestly going to be an X factor in the Big 12. And as soon as Oklahoma starts building that program up, I mean, dude, it's going to be a nightmare, bro. And I say that, and it's not just because I'm scared to play them, but he's good, dude. He's good. So
I'll actually move over to Venom here. I kind of want because he's also a quarterback. I want to get his opinion on this. So Himoteo de Este versus Tavon Moss is going to be a story probably all season. Who do you think played better and why?
I think for the types of quarterbacks they both played good to their strengths. I think Moss is going to be more of a pocket passer than, I guess, a mobile quarterback, which really isn't a bad thing. I feel like even with the league leaning more run now, I feel like it's a lot, at least a little bit easier to run. I feel like you still need a good field general quarterback to move the ball down the field, and Moss did prove he can do that. And Clemson's a team that they're on the rebuild and they've had a good offseason. I'm excited to see what they do. Then on the other side, you got Del Este for Oklahoma. And honestly, with those stats from last night, he looked efficient. He ran very well. And honestly, like, since we're game planning for West Virginia, he kind of reminds me of Frosty's quarterback.
Yeah, Gunnar Rice last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another great quarterback. Here's the thing, and I'll move on to Zach in a second here. The only thing I want to interject as well is that an air raid offense is naturally going to have more turnovers just because you're passing it, in this case, 45 times a game. I thought Tavon Moss played well too. I think so Trips is absolutely for Himoteo. Venom, so you're kind of 50-50, I would assume?
Yeah, I feel like really, I mean, it was a really close game. Both played very well. I mean, Himoteo had a fumble, and then there were 2 interceptions from Moss, but both like did their job. Moss had 4 touchdown passes. I mean, Himoteo had 2 touchdowns, but he also had almost 400 yards as well. So I mean, you look at them stat wise, they're pretty similar. Just the one more turnover for Moss, but I feel like really both did very well for their first game.
Yeah, they both did pretty good. And I just for myself, I'm gonna move and say Tavon Moss. I think did a little better just because 392 passing yards. I understand it's a pass happy league. I think especially in today's air raid, that's a very efficient number. Obviously, the turnovers are an issue, and not that Del Este didn't play well. Obviously, he won, and he also threw pretty well too in a spread offense. I think it was. But that's my vote. So we got 1-1 and then a 50-50. So I'll give half a vote. Zach, you're going to break the tie here. Which quarterback do you think performed better?
No pressure there, huh? I'm kind of in Venom's boat. They're two different quarterbacks, different systems. But if I had to bet, it'd probably be Himateo just because of the diversity, in obviously thinking big picture here. DT knows how to game plan, as Tripp said, and I don't wish game planning against this quarterback at all. Very accurate passer, obviously very athletic. So I'd have to go him Mateo, but obviously it's a very close margin.
Alrighty. So yeah, I mean that would give the win per se to Himoteo Del Este. He is also a GT, while Tavon Moss is not. I'll give that out as well. That could be a difference, but actually, I probably should have mentioned this too. I believe it was two new generational talents this season. Both of them were on the South. They both were, I guess,
yeah, I mean,
hailing
look at
from.
Jordan
Yeah,
Little. I mean, he played phenomenal as well. So I mean, the generational talents are definitely factors in games. And I mean, I'm not saying that's why the South won or anything. I mean, it was close. I mean, dude, they
well,
played their hearts out.
two guys who are. I mean, my guy was like 93-ish out of the box, and obviously, I had to win an auction for him, um, but yeah, it definitely is a factor. That could have been the difference. Honestly, you're right. I'm not saying it's the only difference, but I will add that in. And the other game, and I will touch on this pretty quickly before we move on. Yeah, no, I think in this one, Bo Dale was without a doubt the better quarterback. No offense to Andre Belov. 577 passing yards, 5 touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions, but I think Frosty won a championship, season 11 at Oregon. One of the best ADs all time. He's in the Hall of Fame for multiple, both as a person, I believe, and as a player. But Mike, he runs the league. If he was to ever be an AD, if someone else was running the league in a different universe and he was an AD, I think he'd be a pretty damn good AD. What do you guys think? I'll start with Zach because he's still, I think we haven't gotten to him enough.
No, first off, I agree with you. I had Belov on my team when I first took over Ohio State. Good player, good dude. But I definitely think he lost that matchup for sure. Regarding Mike, he uh, I mean, he's seen all these settings. He's been here since the start. He'll know what to do. It's just a different, kind of like you said, it's a different universe. The way Mike looks at things is definitely different than, the three coaches in here and yourself as well when you were coaching. If I took my hat off and, maybe put him in my AD shoes, I think he could definitely do that. It's just building the team, the camaraderie, and everything that comes with it.
And see, actually, I'll add that caveat. So we're saying that Mike takes over. We'll say there's 24 teams in the CFSL this year. He takes over
Mhm.
in terms of talent, number 12. He's right in the middle. He has all of his experience in how to run sims, but he does not have he doesn't have the knowledge of what everyone else's sims have been for the past 21 seasons. Obviously, that would be a little bit game breaking.
Yeah.
But he has the knowledge of like how to run sims and how to build teams still. And he has middle of the pack. Venom, you think he wins a bunch? You think he's middle of the pack? What do you think?
I think probably if he had to start from scratch, like a brand new team, I feel like he'd still be pretty middle of the road. I mean, he at least to start, he's got. I feel like he definitely has the mind to be an AD. He's very methodical in everything he does. Um, I think he could eventually build up a really good program, but I would definitely like to see. Uh, I guess I do like to see him actually like game planning for these, and I know he's even said it himself. It is a lot. It is more than everybody thinks it is. It's not just you're plugging in numbers. You're not just talking to people. Like he's experienced recruiting for Eastern Michigan a few seasons ago. And he was like, I actually respect a lot of what you guys do because it's not easy, and I think he realizes that. I feel like also doesn't really want to wouldn't want to be an AD full time, but I do think he understands what we do a lot more now and has a respect for it.
And yeah, again, that's also a good point. I got burned out after 5 seasons. We're assuming here that Mike is fully invested to put at least a few seasons in and build a team. I think he would probably win a championship, even if he was given in this scenario, I'm saying he's taken over like a middle of the pack team. I'm not saying he's building an expansion team, but I think either way he wins a championship pretty quickly. What do you think, Trips?
I mean, dude, you're talking about the guy who built this thing, so yeah, he might not have the data of everyone, but I mean, he's definitely in the locker rooms. He's in the coach's channel. I mean, he sees everything. So I don't think he does that bad, bro. I mean, he built it. He's he's kept it. I mean, obviously with the help from everybody a part of it, but I think I don't think he does bad. I mean, he just whooped the hell out of Frosty, which pains me to say because Frosty's a Oregon lover. Uh, but I mean, no, I mean, if put in the circumstance, I think he does well. I mean, it's just the bottom line. It's something that he's known this whole time more than anybody. And I mean, maybe I'm not gonna say proved it or showed it, but I mean, he definitely whooped some ass last night. And I mean, anybody can whoop ass, and everybody can fall. So, I mean, this league it's its own. There's nothing that compares to it. And to say whether or not, yeah, he's gonna completely kick ass or if he's gonna completely tank is hard to say. But in my opinion, yeah, I think he excels. To be honest, I mean,
Yeah,
he's
and
gonna keep
just
it
to
type
touch
shit.
on that, Trips is saying exactly what I was going to add on. A lot of things have to go right, Cole, to win a championship. Just to add on what Trips was saying, so I think it's hard to say Mike would really win a championship. Obviously, Trips and I have said he probably would be deep in the playoffs, but I'm not so sure about the championship part. You've got to have a lot of things go your way.
I can attest to that as well. Having been the OC for 2 championships, and then being an AD, getting to a championship and not winning it, it takes a lot to actually win the championship in this league. Like I feel like people don't really understand, like, coaching staff is, I feel like, the most important thing.
Yeah,
And then after that, you have to have the players who share your vision and who
yeah.
want to be there and want. Yeah, you have to create the team, but you have to find people who are bought into what you are trying to build as well.
Yeah, that's a good point too on it. And I mean, I think the season 20 championship was maybe the best crystallization of that. Actually, speaking of which, if you can have the best team, I think maybe of this new modern era in Auburn, and on paper they look like they're going to beat everybody, and then that's why they play the games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So big win, obviously, for
Don't
USC there,
doubt
and
USC.
that's it. I mean, that's really it. So I think he would win though. I think he has, at least from a game planning perspective, obviously he would have to recruit pretty well. And that's a wild card every year. It doesn't matter what AD you are.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he has the game
Facts.
planning talent at least. I'll put it that out there.
Yeah, agreed.
Obviously, yeah.
Yep.
He does not want to be an AD, otherwise he'd be one. But let's see, we had, and actually on Tripp's point earlier, Blizzy and Wetzel, their players were playing for the East as GTs, and Jordan or Jacob Hammer, but Jordan E82 for Frosty was a GT as well in that game. And actually, that's a good point. I believe those are the first GTs to graduate after playing 4 seasons. Am I correct on that, guys? I think it's 4 seasons now we've had them.
I
Uh,
think this
I
might
want to
be
say
the 4th
yes.
season, isn't it?
No, yeah, I think
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is the 4th season.
Because I have one going into his third right now.
Yeah. So
So
that
he's
sounds right. At least,
yeah.
What's a GT?
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't like your player. He's
Why?
mean.
Because what? Because I throw a lot, or because I
No. You're a very dual threat, and I think this book that you guys picked is going to be. I think it's really going to show how good you are this season.
well, that's very nice considering it can't get worse than last year.
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely improved. We're going to talk a little bit about week one.
Oh,
Actually,
you
that's a great
definitely
segue.
improved. Give me a break. You astronomically improved.
I got a call. This is really funny because I know we were talking about it a little bit before the podcast. I will segue unless anyone has anything to add on these games. And I do have an article actually that I just submitted to Ryan that will be coming out this weekend too on these games. But does anyone have anything to add before we segue into week one? All good?
Go Oregon.
I'm good.
Let's go.
All right.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. So we'll go into week one here. Obviously, yeah, we improved a bit to say the least. And it was funny because I got a call from Beard, the AD of Auburn. I'll name drop him here. And he's like, "What the fuck have you done to your team?" Like that's basically what the gist of the phone call was after the rosters for this season were released. And it's like, I need to make this clear. I run this podcast. I do a lot of media, obviously with Ryan. I call a broadcaster too, even though I'm retired. I do not recruit anything this offseason. My role in recruiting was sit there and hear from Drake and Stevens and the rest of the gang. Oh, yep, you got this
Yep.
guy. Yeah, like you guys are all coaches. Obviously, Trips and Zach, you're an AD, and Venom, you're the OC. But
Yep.
we'll just go
Yeah.
right into week one. I think there is going to be a lot of interesting stuff. We'll start with Labor Day, and usually I will not. We're gonna go week to week here, and I think actually I'll start here. Yeah, we're about the 30-minute mark, so this is pretty good actually to start here with this. Um, I love Adam Smith, Travis Smith. I think they had a great podcast, but I do not want to go through every game every week. That's going to take 3 hours. We're not going to do that. Now, for this week one, because it is week one, we are going to go through each game shortly, or we'll go into depth for a few games here. But in general, we are not going to spend 3 hours on that, just because time constraints and attention spans of everybody.
Yep.
But we will start here,
Yep.
and I will
Yep.
keep it moving here. Monday, September 2nd. I don't think this is the first time we've had 4 games in one day on Twitch specifically, but I believe it is the first time since the Mac was around, or at least since was it the playoffs in season 16, something like that. So I'm just going to go over the games here, and we'll go straight into it. Virginia Tech at Georgia at 2:30 Central. These are all Central. 4:30 Penn State at Florida. Neutral site in Houston, Texas kickoff. 6:30 Central, Michigan at Auburn. Chick-fil-A kickoff, neutral site, Mercedes-Benz, Atlanta, Georgia. And then LSU, Florida State, in the Cowboy kickoff, AT&T Stadium, again, neutral site, Dallas or Arlington, Texas. So we're gonna start with Virginia Tech at Georgia. It's going to be the big storylines here. Virginia Tech, obviously, their first game in team history against Georgia, which has been one of those sneaky teams. One of those. I think they've been near 500, but like it seems like every season they make a deep playoff run anyway. We'll start. Let's see. We're all Big Ten in here.
I'll go. I'll go.
Trips. You know what? Actually, yeah. Well, you know what? Trips. We'll start with you here.
Yeah, because it's unbiased. Actually,
Great.
lies. It ain't. No, I'm kidding. I'm interested to see this because Virginia Tech had a crazy recruiting. Bitter, very bitter about it because I had a player that I really wanted. Told me my recruiting was great. If he hadn't promised, he'd be here. But I think it's going to set the tone for Virginia Tech season because they're going against Georgia, right? Who's been here a while. Virginia Tech's new. If they can set the stage here, week one, against a team who's been consistent for the most part, I think I think Virginia Tech's in the clear. I mean, I love Moochie, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I love him. He's been great in the boardroom. I mean, he adds to my persona. He just accepts it, so that's why I like him.
He was on the podcast too. Was he on the same episode you were?
No.
It might have been the week before. I can look it up, but
Yeah,
yeah,
no, it
very
wasn't
similar
me.
energy. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I love him. I love Georgia too. I like everybody at Georgia. Kate for one, I love Kate. She's cool as hell. So I mean, I think it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I hope Georgia keeps the pace, and I mean, they've always been steady. But I mean, it's obviously probably one of the biggest of week one because Virginia Tech. So yeah, I'm excited to watch that one for sure.
And I should have started with this. I'm going to ask each of you. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Virginia Tech or Georgia? Who you got, Trips? You got to choose.
Oh, I'm choosing Virginia Tech, bro. I mean, I am. It's just, I mean, the star-studded roster that they brought in. I didn't build their team because we're not playing them yet. I probably should have, but I didn't. And the same with Georgia, so I'm not really sure where they stack up against each other. But like, I love Georgia. I love everybody there. But Virginia Tech, I think is gonna come out swinging. I mean, they have to. They have to. So.
Alrighty. Venom, your turn. Virginia Tech, Georgia. Talk to me a little bit. Who you taking?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Georgia. I think they kind of underwhelmed the past couple seasons. I feel like they're one of those teams that's like right there, but they haven't really taken the next step. I feel like this is really a game they can't afford to lose, and I think that it's one they're going to pull out the victory in.
Alrighty. And Zach, yeah, you don't have to spend you spend as much or
Yeah,
as little time you want. Virginia Tech or
I
Georgia,
w-
who you taking and why?
yeah, keeping it short. Um, Georgia team, I know quite a bit of them. Same tree as myself. I'm going Georgia with this, just because of the seniority, the camaraderie that the staff has.
Yeah, and this one, because here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be last every time, so I don't try to influence anyone here. But I will give my thoughts shortly, especially on the Labor Day games here. Virginia Tech put it in the spotlight here, first ever game. I'm gonna take Georgia here, and the reason why is really not against Virginia Tech as a team. It's just we haven't had a lot of data on them yet right now. And this happened to us last season, an expansion team against Texas A&M. We'll get to that game in a little bit, which we're doing again this season. But anytime there's an expansion team or a new AD or a completely overdone roster, as in the case of VT as well, you don't know until you know. In our case, obviously, I was a lot more confident than I probably should have been against Texas A&M. My first game as an AD, we redid the roster at Washington, beat a playoff-bound LSU team, and that was the only win we had all year. It can get kind of weird. So I definitely think Virginia Tech can win this game, but I'm probably going to choose Georgia here. And the reason I had all of you guys choose it is because we're going to do this probably every week once we get into the season. Go through, I want to see, who our guests pick, and as a whole, 3-1 UGA on this one. I am going to write this down on the side. The next game, Venom, I'm going to give this to you first for obvious reasons. Penn State, Florida, neutral site. Penn State seems to be the heavy favorite, but you were the AD of Florida for a while. Are you taking Florida? Are you going the other way? What are you thinking?
I'll be honest, I don't know how to view Penn State right now because I feel like they had a lot of change this offseason. I still feel like they're going to be a great team, and Smitty's gonna hate me for this, but I think they are the better team. But you thought I'm going with the Gators. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, that's what I was looking for. Zach, what do you think about this one?
This is hard. Obviously, Smitty's awesome dude. In the same conference as everyone in here. But I just feel like Florida's going to be special this year, Cole. They had a
Wow.
sneaky good recruiting class. I love Smitty. I'm sure he's going to listen to this and say something about it. I just think Florida's really going to rebound this year and really, surprise some people.
I knew Venom was going to pick Florida. I did not think anybody else was. Trips, are you taking Florida too, or are you going for Penn State?
Dude, uh, I love Florida, and I think they have built quite the recruiting class. But I know what Penn State is capable of, and they lost some people, but they gained some people, bro. I will rarely pick any team from a different conference to beat a Big Ten team. Rarely. So I'm going Penn State, bro. I love Smitty. I love that guy as well. They're both great dudes, and when I was going through stuff, they helped me. But like, nah, bro. I'm not sure if Florida is gonna be capable of taking out Penn. I mean, Penn State went to the semifinals, bro. I mean, yeah, they lost some, but they gained some. And Florida's definitely going to be a better team than they were last year, no doubt. Like they're going to compete, bro. Like do not be don't throw them out because they're coming. But I think Penn State's coming for them.
Don't sleep on that guy. Don't sleep on that guy.
He is that guy for a reason. And then I guess my turn. I'm going to take Penn State in this one. I actually thought this probably is going to be the largest margin of any of the 4 games on Labor Day. I think
What?
Florida. You guys are right. I think Florida is a little closer than they were last year because I think they played last year as well. Um, but my pick is Penn State. 2-2 tie on this one. I will actually put that in there. Um, yeah, no, but I could definitely see Florida winning here. It's not like it's impossible. I beat Venom twice, I think.
Once.
Was it once, and then I
I
almost beat
mean,
you the second
dude,
time?
35-0
Once.
comeback. Who would have thought that? But it
So,
happened. So
but anything can happen. And yeah, I can't see. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm sure this is on YouTube. They're gonna clip it and put it in league chat whenever Florida wins now. But my pick's Penn State. I think they're gonna win pretty handily on this one. This is maybe my most anticipated game of the four. I'm curious what you guys think on this one. Michigan versus Auburn. Aaron Ike versus Beard. This one's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Let's see. Yeah, I'll get the Ohio State guy to pick who first. Are you picking Auburn? Or are you picking that team up north, Zach?
Well, as much as I hate that team up north, I love Ike. I love Bates. I'm going Michigan on this one, man. I think, unfortunately for our conference, Michigan's going to be good yet again. They got that elite receiver. I don't remember his name, but not looking forward to playing against him. I know Auburn's going to be good because it's Beard, but they've been quiet, so that leaves me a little bit to wonder. Is there a reason they're quiet? Is there something going on? I don't have a answer for that, so I'm just gonna pick Michigan. That's all I got for you.
Not only did he pick Michigan, he said their name. Is he really an Ohio State AD? I can't believe this.
Ew.
This is not the hate that I signed up for.
No, man, no hate, no hate.
Don't
All
you
right.
dare put it to me.
Trips. I mean, I'm gonna kind of have to.
Oh, good, because I hate Norman. I hate Ike because they're the only ones that beat me twice since I've been AD. But I got respect. At the end of the day, though, I'm taking Auburn just because I love Beard. I love what he's doing. They were both quiet, bro. I mean, they were both quiet this offseason. But the additions they made, they were solid, and I think I think the takeaway from either of them is not really that good. So I'm going Beard just for the fact that I mean he's gave me the most heartbreaking loss. So I think he pulls this one out for sure.
That's one way to choose. I'm not gonna argue against it. Venom, you were the former AD at Michigan. Are you taking your former team here?
This one's tough. I feel like Auburn lost a lot, but they also replaced it pretty well. I don't remember what book did they choose.
Oh, that's
Let me
I
look
can probably pull
here.
that up too.
I got it here. They went with Arizona. I feel like that's a good book. I think that's one of them that Grin really likes. It can definitely do a lot.
I love that playbook.
I really don't think they. I really don't think that they're going to be any easier this season. I mean, they did lose. I think that's why they've been quiet. They lost a lot. I think most of the team went to Clemson when they graduated. Um, but I still feel like they're going to be a very competitive team. Michigan's good every season. I feel like they're going to be just as good this season too. This is one of the ones that's really really hard to pick for me because they're both good. Um, I think I'm going to go with Auburn having a more disappointing season this season. Not going to say they won't make the
Oh boy.
playoffs, but I think they're going to disappoint compared to last season. I'm going to say they lost enough where Michigan's going to win this one, even with a transfer quarterback.
Bates the entire podcast. Yeah, no, I'm gonna take Auburn on this one. So we're gonna have another tie here, 2-2, among the guys here. But I'm taking Auburn. Here's why. I was obviously at Hangout. We got to witness about 8 Auburn guys lose to a USC team. Congratulations again on Venom. But I'm not just taking Auburn because I used to be the AD there. For me at least, watching, I think it was Beard. I think I said this last week. The face that I saw on Beard after that, after that loss, man, he seems like a guy out for revenge. I understand, teams have changed a lot. Michigan's changed, I think, a little more than Auburn, but both teams have definitely changed since last season. I don't think Auburn's going to be breaking every record like they did last season. They're not quite as built for it as they were. But my pick's Auburn. I think they win this one. I don't think they go 8-0 this season, but I do think they win this one. So that is another 2-2 tie among the group. Are we going to get 3 ties in a row? Let's take a look here. The final game of the night, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, from Arlington, AT&T Stadium, LSU, Florida State. Let's see. I've given all 3 of you guys a chance to go first. Yeah, we're probably going to talk about the other games quickly as well. So, Trips, I'll let you go first here. And we'll get to the others.
All right. LSU, Florida.
LSU, Florida State. Who do you think wins?
That is so tough, bro. That one is really tough for me. I think Florida State's gonna win, but I think it's gonna be extremely close.
All right, Florida State's your pick. All good. Yeah, I guess we'll go around the horn here. Venom, LSU, Florida State. What do you think? Who do you pick?
Yeah, I love Babineau. Was one of my coaches at Michigan, and we talk all the time. But I don't think they're going to be even near as good as Florida State. And you were talking about blowouts earlier. I think this one's going to be more of the most lopsided one out there this week, or this at least Monday.
Alrighty. I mean, I could definitely see it too.
I mean, what? FS who? No, I'm just kidding. I had to
Dude,
get
you're
that in
trolling
I know,
FSU, man.
Had to get
You
that
got
in
to you got to do it. You got to pick them and jinx them. That's how it works. Zach, it's up to you now. You going with the group here?
Yeah, I'm with Grin. X Factor, even if I wasn't under Grin and under his tree, they got Bill Bass across from Pence's quarterback. They're going to be hard to beat, even harder than last season. Give me Florida State, and I'm like Venom. I love Babineau. If it's the same guy that I think it is, I was actually his first coach. Great dude. But I think FSU takes this one pretty soundly.
Here's the one thing I'll say on this before I give my pick, because we're now 3-0 Florida State. It looks like possibly if I say Florida State here, we'll be 4-0. I think LSU is a very good team, and I think especially in the Big 12, they're going to wreak some havoc. We talked
Oh
about it
yeah,
a little bit last week.
yeah.
I would be shocked if they're not a playoff team and not a top 2 seed in the Big 12 this season, picking
Agreed.
who they want to play. I am going to take Florida State here, and that's nothing against LSU. We're going to make this the first 4-0 right now group pick. But let's be very clear here. Florida State has Tom, yes, obviously Hall of Fame AD. Not only that, they have a Florida State team that didn't do what I think would be Tom's standard last season, brought in that kind of class that they just brought in. And LSU had a good class too. But Florida State, to me, looking for revenge, I think LSU had the worst luck of the draw here. I think if LSU could play anybody else, even Auburn, even Michigan, like basically anyone else in this league, they would have rather played anyone else. Because Florida State, I think until Tom ever steps down as AD, is dangerous, and even more so when they are coming off the season they had last season. So Florida State 4-0. This is the first one we've had go 4-0. I have a feeling it won't be the last today. We'll go through the other games as well. Tuesday, Alabama at Miami, Texas at UNC. Two good games to kind of get the season going. To both Tuesday and Wednesday, only two games as well because the schedule's a little bit different to start the season. We don't have to go super in depth unless you guys want to, but yeah, Venom. Alabama, Miami, Texas, UNC. Who you taking in those games?
Yeah, I'm going to go with, for these two, I'm going to go Alabama and Texas. I think I like the other ADs. I like Kane and I like Gunn, but
yeah, Gun, yeah.
yeah, but I think they're both outmatched in those games. I think they're both got good teams. I think they could probably keep it close, but I think they're just not as good. No offense.
Just not as good. No, I mean that's
No offense,
a little
but
bit offensive, but it's not me
no
for
offense.
judging it at all.
No offense, meant,
No,
but,
no offense, but a little bit.
but take
yeah.
it.
Zach, you're up. Who you
I hate
taking?
that I'm agreeing so much with Venom, but I'm taking Alabama and Texas, and I'm not even thinking twice about it.
Really?
Yeah, I
It's not even
think
close.
You guys are insane.
Great ADs on the other side. I just think they're a little bit more outmatched. I think Miami and North Carolina haven't had as good as off seasons as they would need to compete with those teams. Not saying they didn't have a good off season, but Alabama and Texas, they're the gold standard. Cole, you know how that. You need to be a top team to beat them, especially with David Ware and Moreland. And they added Semi Rage, who I play with at FSU. I think they just keep climbing the top. Those two.
Where especially, like, He's tough to game plan against.
So annoying to game plan against.
I hate game planning
He's
against.
so annoying even that he picked us to lose to him. So that's why I'm taking Miami and Texas.
Nice. All right, Miami,
Yeah.
Texas for you.
Yeah, Trips of Oregon is taking Miami and Texas, bro. I love Kane. I'm sorry that I beat them in playoffs, but
Hey,
No, you're
you know
not.
what?
I got something on this. Miami can lose Saturday to Florida, but I don't care. They can win Tuesday if they want.
They can, dude. I don't, dude. They are as much as a wild card as anyone, bro. I love Miami. I love Ware. The dude, honestly, was the first person to ever DM me as an AD and talk me through things when shit hit the fan at Oregon. So I love Ware. I do. But he wants to take against me. I'm gonna take against him, just for the parody. Just
I
for the
will
parody.
say it did feel good knocking him out of the playoffs last season, since I was most likely going there, and then he decided he wanted Squiddy because I wouldn't commit right away.
Get
That
wrecked.
feels like a Ryan roasting
That's
me a few
deep
weeks
right
ago.
there, man. That came down from
That is,
deep in
yeah,
there, Venom.
yeah. That was some hatred.
He
It
really
felt
felt
good.
better
It
after
felt
letting
good.
that out.
The only thing I'll say on this, yeah, Texas 3-0 from you guys, Alabama 2 of you guys want them, and Miami's taking 1. I'm actually going to agree with Trips here. I like Miami. I think Alabama, where obviously had to step away for a little bit last season on that for personal reasons, and he's back now, I believe, unless some
Oh, he's back.
Yeah,
He's
he's
back.
back. He's definitely back.
Yeah. Well, I know he's still here, but I mean, like in an official capacity. I didn't know if they actually like have
Yeah,
made that
he
official.
is.
Um, for me, I think Miami still has some of that talent that nearly won a championship a few times the last few seasons, and I think not every game's going to be the favorite to win. I do agree with you guys. Alabama will be favored in this one. I'm going to take Miami, not just because I'm a former Auburn guy, because I genuinely think they could win this game. Texas UNC. UNC won the ACC last year. I think we're kind of disrespecting them. I really want to pick them. I can't. I'm going to pick Texas here, but I want to pick them because I think this is a prime upset candidate. I think we're going to look very stupid here, but I'm going to take Texas with the group here.
Dude, you're
I don't
right.
disagree.
No, yeah.
No,
I
I think
think
you're right.
what's going to happen is we have now all chosen Texas, and it's frickin' Texas. We're going to go get our egg in our faces here. But
I don't
Texas
care.
is the second 4-0. And
Dude,
UNC
you know,
is going to
egg
make
me
us
in
all
the
look like
face.
idiots. That's fine.
Egg
That's
me-
fine.
yeah.
But I think we're making a mistake here. But it's not my job to make the mistake. It's my job to record. Wednesday. Okay. Kentucky at Clemson, which I think I already know what we're going to be on that one. Michigan State, Texas A&M. Maybe. I mean, I'm going to be a little biased here. That might be my favorite game of the week. But even as a non-biased, that's going to be a bunch of fun.
You better
Let's
choose
see.
me first. You
What?
better
Why do you
pick
want to go
Trips.
first? This is
I
like
want
the
to go
third time.
first. No, I don't care.
You know what?
I'm
No,
going.
Zach.
No.
No, Zach, you go first because Trips wants to.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my sweet time with this one, because I know somebody wants to go first. This is a tough one, Cole. I think Clemson did really well this offseason. I think Wetzel has built a dynamic program there. But Kentucky's Kentucky, man. Davis, he knows how to game plan. He's a championship winning AD. I think that's gonna be another 4-0. Yours is tough, Cole. Michigan State and Texas A&M. I'm like, holy fuck. Who am I gonna pick there? Um, and since you guys beat me, I'm gonna pick you guys, man. That's the only reason. I love Cade, dude. He's got a great program. Riggins is over there as well, but I think you guys did really good this offseason. And I think Michigan State takes it, man.
All right, Kentucky, Michigan State. Venom, I would go to you, but I think if I do, Trips might explode.
I'm
So
gonna fucking explode. Give it to me.
go ahead.
Who
Trips.
the fuck is Kentucky, bro? I haven't seen a player from them in fucking weeks, brother. I mean, let alone, just the simple fact that they were cranking cheeks seasons ago. But I haven't seen anyone. Just the other day in the boardroom, Davis sent something, and I said, "Who even are you?" Because that's the facts. That's straight up MG42 facts, bro. I mean, I haven't seen anything from them. And granted, I'm not trying to take away from them, but it's the facts. So let's be real. I love what Clemson's doing. because they're the only one that's doing in this matchup. And second, that I think it's something for this program, just like Virginia Tech. I think it's something for them to prove on. I'm going Virginia Tech, bro. I mean, sorry, Clemson. I'm going Clemson on this.
You wanted to go this bad just
Virginia
to mess
Tech.
up? Are you
No,
kidding me?
listen, bro. I'm going Clemson. And I'm going Michigan State because Michigan State is scary. I'm not ready to play them. I'm scared. That's facts. So let's just end it here, bro. I'm going Clemson, Michigan State. Hate me later. Peace.
All right, Venom. Anything to add to Virginia Tech winning the first game?
Virginia Tech.
No, it's Kentucky Clemson. But Trips doesn't know who's playing apparently.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Fuck.
I'm really excited, man.
So now I'm hoping for a Kentucky mercy rule. Don't disrespect the boy, Devin. Kentucky's going to win. I don't know by how much, but I'd say at least 2 scores. I've got Kentucky beating Clemson. I think they need to figure it out a little there. Get going. I feel like Kentucky's not the team you want to play as your first game as AD. Yeah, just Kentucky. And then I feel like Michigan State is the better team. So for that one, it's just pretty easy for me. I'm just going with Illinois.
Good to know. Good to know.
There you go.
I'm just gonna lean into it at this point.
Did I say Illinois? I mean Michigan State. My bad.
No. At this point, I'm just gonna lean into it, even though I had nothing to do with it. And for the record, I never played for Illinois, but apparently we're Illinois now. So yeah, Illinois.
I mean,
for
you
sure.
got most of the team. Come on.
Yeah,
We
bro.
didn't get
I mean, don't play
we got a
victim
few of the
here.
guys for sure, but like
Do not play
man.
victim here, buddy.
Come on.
You're
I'm
Illinois
not
State.
playing victim. I'm just I'm like it's not my business where they got the players from. But somehow I'm
Drake
the
in
guy
here.
that
I
Get
think
Drake.
Drake
Bring him
was
now.
in here. He
I
was
think
here
that-
last week.
I think Michigan State could be a surprise. What is it? Vote in team this season. 4 wins. I think they could get 4 wins.
Well, I hope we at least get 1 or 2.
Well,
That'd be nice.
That would be
If you
nice.
don't get 1 or 2, you're fucking ass, bro. That team is stacked. I've simmed against you in the offseason.
I mean, you play Ohio
I'm just trying
State
to be humble. Yeah.
and Oregon,
Oh, here
so
we go.
Yeah.
Come on.
that's
And
2
USC.
wins. That's
Yeah.
2 wins. No,
Listen,
not
man,
USC. You can't beat USC. Let's be
We
real.
beat USC. Come on, man.
Oh boy. All right, I'll wrap this up. So for the record, if all of you guys chose Kentucky, I was going to choose Clemson because I think Clemson is a little bit underrated here. Kentucky obviously is Kentucky. I'm not going to dispute that, but what I saw from Clemson, I think it's a re-energized Clemson and a Clemson that's going to be a factor this season. And I think Venom said it. I really feel bad for them because Kentucky is kind of like LSU, one of the worst teams you can get. You know, LSU got Florida State, Clemson gets Kentucky here. I think this is a close game. I think this could be an overtime game even, but I'm going Kentucky. I'll make it a 3-1 Kentucky win in the picks here. I mean, everyone knows I'm going to choose Michigan State. I will say for the record, I really want to pick Texas A&M just to get a text on Saturday evening from Drake kicking me off the team. But I will take Michigan State. And not only because I'm on the team, but yeah, I you know, all jokes aside, they have done a great job this offseason recruiting, game planning, and obviously I've had a front row seat to a lot of that. But Texas A&M is a great team too. I think they'll be better this season, but I don't think they'll beat us. Michigan State wins 4-0, Kentucky 3-1, which when we started this, I did not think Michigan State was going to get all 4 votes. And I thought Kentucky was going to be the one that went 4-0. So you never know on this podcast. We're going to keep going here. Yeah, we're running a little short on time, so we're just going to do all 4 games at once. And I'll let you, Venom, you haven't gone first in a while. All 4 games, who are you taking?
I'm going to go Ohio State. I just feel like they got the better team. They beat USC last year. So hopefully they've improved some more. And I also feel like they could be one of the playoff teams in the Big Ten. Big Ten's just stacked. I hate the Big Ten. Next game, we got Oregon, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's just coming back. I don't know what DT is going to do.
I dare you.
It's just going to be a repeat of Notre Dame's first season. I mean, he's got to build that up. I'm going Oregon Trips. Shut up. Obviously, I'm going to go USC because obviously. And then for Notre Dame, Tennessee, I hate Tennessee in real life, but I'm gonna pick Tennessee because
Go ahead.
this is the year for Tiny. He's gonna get himself some 3 wins. Maybe not playoff berth, but I feel like he's gonna have a better team building towards the future. So I'm giving him the win week 1.
What a win that would be. Tennessee won against Notre Dame.
1-0, winning record for the first
I'm
time
with you,
in
man. I
so
think
long.
that could be an awesome storyline. It is obviously the final game of the week on YouTube, but we talked about it last week. We said teams that could take the next step. Tennessee could do it, and this is the first test for them. What do you think, Zach? What's your 4 picks? I think I know what your first one's going to be.
First one's going to be Ohio State. Obviously, I've got 2 Sims running here in the background. Feel pretty confident. Colorado's definitely a much improved team, but
Sims.
I I think we take it. Taking Oregon as well. I think DT, like Venom said, has got a little bit more to build. I think USC in a shootout. I think that's going to be a really good game with the West Virginia. I think
Nope.
USC takes that. And unfortunately, again, I'm sticking with Venom. I think my man Tiny gets a dub to start the season, man.
Is
I'm gonna,
Tennessee's first win us
think so.
picking them in the majority? Holy. All
Yeah.
right. Go ahead. You have anything to add? I didn't want to interrupt, but
No, that's it, man. I think Tiny, he's changing something. I don't know what to call it, but he's doing big things there.
so just to clarify, Ohio State, Oregon, USC, Tennessee. Is that correct, Zach?
Yep, that's it, man.
So the first 2 guys choose the same 4 teams. Trips, you doing the same thing?
Man, you already know I'm not doing the same fucking thing. Bro, Ohio State's cranking cheeks at Colorado's getting their cheeks cranked in Ohio State. That's what's happening.
I
I
don't
love both
understand
of
any
them.
of those words. Go ahead.
Colorado's losing to Ohio State. Ohio State's winning.
All right.
All right. So that's going facts. I love both of them, but let's be real. Second, I'm going against my teacher, bro. Everybody can say Vinny is my guy. It was DT. Nobody's panicking as hard as I am, bro. So I'm just gonna state that. I do think we win just because the fucking talent. But I'm trembling. I'll tell you that. USC West Virginia, stupid if I pick USC. I'm going Notre Dame. Fuck yourselves. I'm going Notre Dame.
So I'm gonna be super different by choosing one different team than the rest of them. Okay. I
Yup.
thought we were gonna have some actual risks here. Okay. I
Nah,
mean, I'm not saying it's bad picks, but I'm just like
It's
you're like,
not
oh
bad
yeah.
picks. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, let's be real here. I mean, USC
Personally,
just won the championship.
I
If
was
they lose to West
hoping
Virginia,
I
that's
was
whack.
hoping you were gonna pick you're gonna pick against yourself. That'd be kind of funny.
I was going to. I was milliseconds away. But what does that show
You
my
should see
team?
him in the boardroom, Cole.
You
He's like
should.
shitting a brick in there.
Yeah, you should. I mean, let's be real. I usually am. But what does that show
I've
my
been
team?
in the boardroom. You guys
Yeah.
know that, right? And
Well,
Venom has too.
not with me. Not with me.
Yes, I have.
Well,
was
you were
AD
vacant. That is
No,
true. My first season, you were. I forget.
I was in
You're
there.
right.
I'm aware.
You're right.
Isn't
But I'm
Notre
just gonna
Dame
say-
just Syracuse transfers?
I
They got a few
mean-
guys left, I thought.
I mean, you could say the same about fucking
I don't-
Virginia Tech, buddy. I mean, let's be real here. But
Well, yeah.
I
didn't
mean-
really talk on length about them.
yeah, well, we're not going to talk length on anything here because it's non-existent. Now,
Just because you
I'm
don't
gonna
have
s-
length.
listen, bro. I
Want
can
me to
go.
bring it
I
in
can.
here?
I can go length to
Oh
length.
my god.
You don't want that
Oh
smoke,
my God.
brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen.
Only one of you
You're the
guys
best,
in
Venom.
this room has
Thank
fought
you.
Venom, and I can guarantee you it's not a fun time.
Listen, bro. The heat can be generated. I promise you that.
You guys
I'm
are
just saying,
playing each
bro.
other like week 4 or whatever. Do it
We're
then.
playing week 8.
They call me Brock Lesnar.
You guys are week 8? Oh yeah, I forgot because the rivalry games they're gonna play Notre Dame. Or they're not.
They call you fucking Chalk Lesnar because you ain't got a chalk. Now listen,
Oh my
we're gonna
god.
talk about this a little bit because I did want to pick Oklahoma, and I've been trying to say this for the past 2 minutes. But what does that show my team if I pick Oklahoma over me? They're listening. They're
You're
watching.
smart and rational. I don't know.
No, I'm.
So if you're
I
listening,
mean,
Oregon, he's picking Oklahoma to beat
I'm
y'all.
Venom.
Show
Do not
your AD wrong. Prove him wrong.
listen.
Oh my god, I
Well,
gotta
I
pick
mean,
two. You know.
that is true. All right, go.
All right, so I will butt in here just so I can get my picks in. Man, would it be really funny if I did the same thing? No, I'm not. I'm gonna pick Colorado for the first game. No offense to Zach on my podcast,
He hates you.
but I'm gonna pick Colorado for two reasons. The first one is because I don't want to be the same as all the frickin' rest of my guests here. I do want to be a bit of a contrarian here, and two, Colorado has been slowly building for the last I want to say basically since they've been a team. Baker Thomas, Voodoo, made a new player, and I've seen his players up front. He's going to be a monster halfback, and I'm sure Zach is game planning for it, but he
Fucking
knows what I'm
nuts.
talking
He's so
about.
good.
So
Not
Colorado.
Roloski.
Well, you know what? I was going to choose Oregon, but maybe I won't now. For
Don't.
NLP,
I
just
dare you.
so Colorado is my pick. I think they have a lot of fun in that game, and that could be a sneaky game of the week pick. But I'm going to take Colorado.
It would
Oregon,
actually be
Oklahoma.
very Oregon of them to lose.
I'm really tempted now just to pick Oklahoma to be a contrarian.
Then do it.
You know what?
I'm begging you to do it.
Fine, I'll do it. I'm gonna take Oklahoma, and I'm gonna say not only because Trips told me to do it, but also because DT Hall is scary, and I've played him. Like,
You have
Or-
no idea the monster he created.
so here's the thing with DT Hall, and this goes back to my time as an AD, and it's why I almost played for him when I made my quarterback. When I played Tom, he kicked the doors off me, no question. When I played Ware, he beat me as much as I hate to admit it, pretty good. No team except maybe Jay Gates era Miami ever like just completely shut my team down like that Oklahoma defense the first time I played them. DT Hall at Oklahoma is scary. I'm going to take them if for no other reason to say that Oklahoma is a threat. I don't care if there's three players on that roster. DT Hall is the one guy maybe in this league along with Tom who could win with three guys on the roster against
Facts.
Prime Miami
Yep.
or whatever.
I don't disagree.
Agreed.
So Oklahoma, I'm gonna get a pick there in them for them. I really want to pick Murph. You know, here's the thing: West Virginia, USC. I think West Virginia is very talented, and I think I am gonna choose USC here, because another one of those really bad matchups, week one for West Virginia. I feel like they could be another team that bounces back this year and really has a good season, but freaking USC, man, they won the championship. I'm supposed to go against that? I don't know. I can't. But I really wanted to. If I'm gonna make a risky pick in Oklahoma, I can't make another one with West Virginia. I'm gonna take USC here. And man, do I want to take Tennessee with you guys. If I take Tennessee here, that gives Tennessee a win.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Come on,
And
man.
here's why. If it was
Yes,
still
let's
DT
go.
Hall, if it was still DT Hall at Notre Dame, I think I would have
Oh.
taken Notre Dame here, no problem.
Agreed.
But and this isn't a slight on the new Notre Dame AD. What do you guys call him? Ninja or what? I don't know how you.
Yeah, Ninja.
Or Anthony,
Silent.
One of the silent that works. I am all in on him, and I think he's going to be a great AD for Notre Dame. Obviously, he's got to build a little bit, and he's, I mean, basically it's just because I don't know what we have from him yet. Syracuse was an up and down team. Notre Dame has been a great team, but then last season, obviously, they had a lot of turnover. I think Notre Dame can win this game. I think they'll be favored for this game, but I want to be a contrarian, and I'm going to take Tennessee, even though West Virginia fans are not going to like that answer. I'm taking Tennessee. So, with that said, Ohio State favored 3-1 by this panel. Oregon favored 3-1. USC 4-0. Tennessee 3-1. Go out there, go Vols, I guess. Go Florida State. Just before we go and finish this off, Florida State 4-0. Michigan State's a 4-0. I think Texas was the other 4-0, and then finally USC. Those are the four teams that we think, no doubt about it, are going to win. We'll see what happens week one. One last thing before I'll give everyone quickly. Any picks for game of the week? My picks could be Michigan State, Texas A&M. A little bit biased there, but go ahead, guys. What do you think game of the week? We'll start with Trips.
I mean, bro, how could you pick anything other than Oklahoma, Oregon? It's teacher versus student. I
That
don't
could be
know if
fun.
that. It is. I mean, it is, and you guys have all said it. If there's anybody that can take a team with 3 active players and do it, DT Hall is one of them. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm scared. I got the blood boiling. My asshole is puckered. I'm ready to fucking. I'm
There it
ready.
is. There it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I know you were waiting. Yeah,
My man.
y'all thought
My
this
man.
was y'all thought this wasn't gonna be explicit. It's explicit, buddy. We
This is not the first curse word.
Zach
False
into
alarm
that
right
kind of
there.
stuff.
I
We've
know.
been doing this for
Yeah.
over an
Full
No,
hour.
alarm.
I know. But I know. I'm just being stupid. But I'm serious. I mean, all the games are gonna be great. They will be. But with who I am and who DT is, I think this is going to be. It's either going to go great, it's going to go bad, but it's just for the simple fact that it's teacher versus student. There's history there, and everybody can put me under Vinny's tree. Everybody can say that, but I'm gonna say this now, and I'm gonna say it here. Vinny didn't teach me shit. As much as I love Vinny, because he taught me the ins and outs, DT Hall went into it with me. DT Hall showed me. DT Hall trained me, and I think it's a matchup worth everybody watching, in my
It's a
opinion.
whole new world.
Yeah, exactly.
Trips
I
is
got
great. This is
yeah.
why I love having Trips on the show. Uh, Vinny didn't teach me shit, but actually he taught me a lot. Full quote from
Yeah,
Trips.
well, exactly.
It
I mean,
makes
he
sense.
did kind of. He brought me into the league, right? And he slapped offensive coordinator on me because I could sim. But
Oh boy.
as soon as he did that, he left, bro. He
I'm not
fucking
disagreeing
left.
with you. I'm just saying
Yeah, no, I
quotes are great.
know.
That's
Yeah,
good
I know.
quotes.
No,
All
I
right.
know. I know.
Okay. All right. All right. Venom, game of the week for you. You just taking USC. You got another pick.
No, my pick actually is going to be Michigan Auburn. I think that's going to be the best game of the whole week, and I think it's going to be a thriller down to the very finish. Um, I don't really see many other games of that sort of caliber. I feel like that's definitely one of the biggest ones, the biggest out of conference games early, and I think it's going to be really important for either of those teams to get a win in that game.
All right. Before I go to Zach, I will mention, speaking of that, Texas UNC, I will shout out, even though I didn't choose them, because that is the Big 12 champion, ACC champion. I do want to mention that too on Tuesday. But Zach, go ahead.
Yeah, game of the week, I'm going Alabama and Miami, only because, and this just kind of hit me. Kane and Dobbins both were at Alabama with Ware, so Ware and those two both know each other. So I think this is really going to be a great game. I think Kane learned under Dobbins, Dobbins learned under Ware, so there's a lot of history between them. I'm expecting a great game, very close one in the Alabama-Miami game.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of history between those two teams, and I would even argue. I mean, there's some Alabama Texas crossover. Funny enough, there's a few guys that went Auburn Alabama or Alabama Auburn when I was during my time there. But Miami definitely is a big one. Both Tuesday games I think are a little underrated, but good choice. I agree. Great game. September 2nd. I think so. Originally, we're gonna do the chaos quiz, and I will say what the new rule was because last week, Ware did win for the second time, becoming the first ever second time winner of the quiz show. Where was his rule here? Whenever someone says their name, they must follow their name with roll tide, i.e., "Hi, my name is Venom." Venom roll tide to answer. But we're gonna run out of time here, and also, I actually ended up writing a bunch of questions related to Norman, like to Michigan, because I thought I was gonna have a Michigan guy on here. And so we're gonna have to save those questions for next week.
I know stuff about Michigan.
Yeah, of course you do, but it's not as funny when I make fun of Michigan in question form for a guy who plays for USC and won a championship. So.
True.
Like literally one of the questions was about Michigan losing to USC in the playoffs. So um, I wouldn't be quite as fun. And also, we're already at an hour 15. I don't think we need to spend another 20 minutes going over it. But I will go over the picks here just one more time before we finish off, and then I'll give everyone their standard 30-second what's it called? 30-second promo. So again, our group, and again, it's gonna change every week. We're gonna kind of try this a little bit differently, but I have some ideas we'll get into it for a minute. So UGA 3-1. Both of the other two Monday games being is it Michigan Auburn? No, it's Penn State Florida, and then Michigan Auburn. We said 2-2 tie. Florida State 4-0. For Tuesday, Alabama, Miami, we said it was a 2-2 tie. Texas, a 4-0 over UNC, which I think we're going to look really bad. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think we might have messed up there. UK, Kentucky over Clemson, 3-1. Michigan State, another 4-0 pick. Another pick, actually, now that I think about it, we could also look really bad on Wednesday on that one. On Thursday, Colorado, Ohio State, we went 3-1 for Ohio State. Oregon, Oklahoma, we went 3-1. USC, West Virginia, we went 4-0, and then Tennessee, Notre Dame, Tennessee, 3-1. Going forward, I'll answer this. The Chaos Quiz is going to be around. This is a good way to preview it. I am going to keep it around. It's not going away, but obviously we're already at an hour 15. We're going to be talking about a lot of football stuff. I don't know if we're going to get time for the Chaos Quiz a lot this season. It's going to really depend on how quickly we get through stuff. But don't worry, it will stay around, and obviously next off season we'll be playing it a bunch too. It had a good reception. I think part of the problem is that the contestants, when they win, would just keep changing the same rule over and over again. So I might rework it there, but we won't play today. I can't guarantee. I think we're probably not going to be able to play it next week either. But we will see. I will save the questions if we can. But yeah, I mean that's basically about it. I'm gonna start with. We'll go in a circle here. Trips. Yeah, I'll give it to you because I know you're gonna butt in
you already
anyway.
know it. You
You
know
got
it.
30 seconds. Keep it at 30 seconds. Talk about your team and
All right, talk
we'll
about
go
my
from there.
team. Rule number 7 of this week: you have to pick the team you most hate to say roll that team. All right, now talking about Oregon. Y'all know what we're capable of. We can have the shittiest team. We can have the best team. Don't play safe. Don't think you're safe because we're coming. And it's unfortunate that you have to be on the receiving end, except for the fact of the few losses we've had. But if you don't like Oregon just for the simple fact of what we've done, there's something wrong with you, bro. We're crazy. We're fun. We're energetic. Whether that's from me or my guys, we're in there every morning. One of the first people every morning, bro. I mean, there's a culture here, and if you're not a part of it, I'm sorry, bro. It sucks. But think about it next time, because we're the place to be.
Again, 30 seconds. He takes a whole 60. What else could we? That's very on brand for Trips.
You best believe it.
Zach, let's see if you can keep the 30-second time frame. You're the other AD on here. I'll get you first.
Yeah, I'm not all about that hoorah. Ohio State's putting in that work. We've got Tyree, myself, and Jordan and everybody. We got a lot of transfers coming in. This is a win now season for me. A lot of pressure on myself. Expecting big things from the team. Excited to see how the season unfolds. Let's go Buckeyes.
Hey, he's pretty good. Trips could learn a lesson or two.
Don't you dare!
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. Venom though. Obviously you are the OC, not the AD. You also won a championship, and you've had USC guys win championships. Come on here and talk about the team, but I'll give you 30 seconds as well. Stage is yours.
I don't really need to talk much. I just want to say USC champs, just win, baby. Let's keep it rolling. And this is the place. This is the place to be. We're fun, and we're just gonna keep going for those opportunities. More opportunities, baby.
Yeah, I know that reference was in the Chaos Quiz as well. Whenever USC won it.
Yeet.
So, yep, that's gonna really do it for us this week. Next week is week 1. We also, by the way, have the CFSL Pro Draft. I believe it is tonight as well.
Yep.
For those of you who are participating.
Supposed to be.
Yeah, we'll see because it's been delayed like twice, but I believe it's gonna be tonight.
Supposed
I don't know
to
if
be
we're
in
gonna
an
have
hour.
time. Yeah, I know. We'll see because I believe we're gonna have it tonight. I don't think we're gonna have time to talk about it next week. If we do, I'll try to include it. It is gonna be a lot of fun. Next week will be week 1. So the next time we're talking, next time you hear us, next Saturday, because this is gonna come out on Saturday, obviously. Again, it's Thursday for us, but it's coming out on Saturday. The next time it comes out, it's going to be, the first week is over. A lot of fun stuff to talk about. I got some cool stuff in store for the regular season edition. Maybe we even get a camera edition. I don't know. Maybe I can put my face back
I
on.
better be there. I better be there.
All right. We'll see if we can get you on there.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's all good. You know, Ware said the same thing basically. Whenever we do camera version, we gotta get you on, but there'll be a few camera versions. We're not gonna just do it every week, but I do want to get a on camera version too, instead of that cool logo that I made and put on the YouTube logo. And again, great episode in terms of viewership last week as well. That's my 30-second kind of pitch. Great support, guys. Again, remember to subscribe, hit that bell, all that fun stuff for YouTube. Like, comment. It really does help get the visibility out there. This is going to come out Saturday evening. So for you guys on Saturday, get ready for Monday. Virginia Tech, Georgia, Penn State, Florida, Michigan versus Auburn, LSU, Florida State. 4-day spectacular, or excuse me, 4-game spectacular on Monday. That is going to do it for us. Again, I'd like to thank our 3 guests. First, I'm going to especially thank Justyn Veneklasen, also known as Venom, the USC offensive coordinator who was able to step in on short notice. Venom, I think we've been trying to get you on since before I even named the podcast. Like, first episode, we are trying to get you on. But
Yep.
happy to get you on now. Schedule worked out that way. Still happy to have you here. And so, another great voice from the CFSL. Glad to have you. I did want to thank you first because you jumped in short notice. And then again as well, Gavin Lussier, Trips, the Oregon AD, always a great character, I think I'll call it. Great to have you on. Oregon certainly has a voice in this league, thanks to you. And then Zach Davis, Assured Fame, Ohio State AD. I know I've made fun of you a few times on this podcast, but that's why I got you on here to kind of respond to those allegations. Ohio State, good luck to you guys, except against us, of course. And that's going to do it for us. I'd like to, again, thank my 3 guests, and we'll see you on Monday, baby. Week 1's here, and we'll see you next Saturday for the Cole Mantell Show.